Welcome to Mysteries and Crime. I'm your host, Melissa Thompson. And if you would please click the subscribe button, I'd love to have you as part of the community. Now let's get talking to Brian's parents, the Dirty Laundrie. That's right, Christopher and Roberta. Let's talk about what's been going on with them. Okay, so we all know that the protesters have been outside of their home wanting justice for Gabby. And they have been leaving little mementos and signs and such to get the Laundrie's attention. But nothing much has seemed to work except for the Laundries coming out to clean up the laundry baskets and to grab some of the signage outside of their home. Well, Christopher Laundrie took down the sign that said, "What if this was Cassie?" And now he's being sued for it. You got that right. He is being sued. One of the protesters that helped raise money to put that sign together is suing Christopher Laundrie for $40. He needs to appear via Zoom in court on December 1st to give his response of how he wishes to proceed in this case. And I know many of the neighbors have been arguing with the protesters about the noise and everything like that. It's been very hard on many of the neighbors, and it just doesn't seem like the Laundries want to crack. Now, also what's going on is Brent Blue has decided to leave his job at the hospital. He will remain the coroner for Wisconsin, but he is not going to be a doctor at the hospital anymore. Now, I wanted to get into the information. We haven't heard much from the Laundrie family about anything except their little bit of responses as "rest in peace, Gabby." But their friend Brittany Ann Coleman had a lot to say on September 28th. And I wanted to go over this statement with you because, guys, she has cleaned up her Facebook. These posts no longer exist. So let's get into this one. Now, reminder, this is before we found out cause of death on Gabby Petito. This is an edit. A lot of people told me to delete my posts or make my account private and hide myself from the world. But I'm hoping the more time and energy everyone spends harassing me will take that time away from them being hurtful to other people. This world is filled with ugliness, and if I can absorb some of it and spare someone else, I will. To those who are thanking me for trying to expose the unjust bias for profit media and to try and stand up against people harshly judging one another as if they know everything that happened between those two people, thank you for keeping your heart and mind open. God bless you. P.S. Mental health issues are nothing to joke about. Countless people are self-harming themselves, and countless others are hurting or self-harming each other. Because the issues are not being addressed or taken seriously, and there's still a stigma that many people are afraid or embarrassed to get help they desperately need. Stop the stigma and promote taking care of your mental health. A tragedy like this could have been avoided, and they're talking about Brian and Gabby's situation. Mocking and spewing unproductive, hateful things doesn't help anyone in any way. It's self-serving that you have convinced yourself it is serving some sort of justice without any regards for who it's hurting or helping. It's hard, too, because I know Brian, and he's really nice, and his mother is an absolute gem. I worked with Roberta. She crocheted me a poncho. She's given me so much advice throughout my time working with her, and we've remained close friends since then, and it breaks my heart to see two families going through such horrible things, and the entire world is gawking and throwing their 2 cents in and making fun of them like we're in elementary school, and nobody taught each other to be kind to one another. I think so hardest thing is all the people acting like they know what happened before any information got out and talking horrible things about Brian and his family. There was another murder not far from there around the same time, but there was no big press on it. What I do believe is that Gabby has a laundry list of mental health issues, financial irresponsibilities, and other issues, and Brian and his family have been so supportive through the years. She lived in their home rent-free, both with the sister of Brian and with the parents at different times. I spoke with Roberta at length about some of the situations that had occurred in the house while they were all living together. It did not sound easy. The fact that people are saying Brian stole her van and used her card when I know he poured in so much of his savings for her to live her dream and to try and make her happy is heartbreaking. He's being treated like the scum of the earth, and how his parents are being treated like the parents of the scum of the earth because they're trying to do the right thing and protect him, and anyone who thinks they wouldn't do whatever they could for their child doesn't deserve children. The truth may never come out, the whole truth. And even if Gabby was murdered by someone else, if it turns out it was an accident or self-inflicted, Brian and his family will forever be hated. And even if it's completely proven without a doubt not to be the one responsible for her death, half the world thinks they know what happened, based on a few news articles. That's scary. She also had posted on her Facebook page, but she has since deleted this, that Roberta confided in her that Gabby slept all day, she didn't do anything around the house, she was living off of them, that she didn't work. And I find that not true because we know that Gabby was working at a juice bar and she saved up all her money to do this van life. So this woman is trying to come out for the Laundries to make Brian some innocent, sweet angel that we know he's not. And she's also trying to portray the parents as innocent angels. Now, I've told you in a past video that I think Roberta is the ringleader in all of this. I think she was the one. We know that she signed them, the three of them, into the camping ground. And I believe she's the one that started the thought of putting him in hiding so she could protect her baby boy. And I think Christopher Laundrie is kind of along for the ride. When the laundry baskets were thrown on their front lawn, it was Christopher and Roberta came out to clean up the laundry baskets, but it was Roberta that went to rip the sign out of her yard of Gabby. And she wasn't able to do it, so Christopher followed behind, and he pulled the sign up. Now, we have to remember, there are three sides to Brian Laundrie, There's the public persona, the private persona, and the secret persona. And we saw how he acts in his public persona and the Moab police body cam footage, where he manipulated the police officers into making that Gabby was the perpetrator in that situation. He is an absolute manipulator, and in my opinion, I think he learns it from his mother, because she too seems like the ultimate manipulator to me in this situation. To say the things that she did about Gabby, that Gabby was such a horrible person. Gabby was trying to make it in the van life community. She was building a website. She had an Instagram with a following. She was trying to document this whole life. She started a YouTube channel. And Brian was the one there, not to cheer her on, but to rip her apart. We're going to the private persona and the secret persona. And in the secret persona, he couldn't stand the fact that she could be successful without him. And so therefore, he said, you're not able to do this. And you're especially not able to do this without me. You can't do this. And she told that in the Moab police body cam footage. And you can tell how much all of this meant to her. The world was beautiful to Gabby. People were beautiful to Gabby. She was an outgoing, loving person. And Brian was a loner. We know this because friends from high school came forward and said this, that he only had a couple of friends. He wasn't very talkative. He was quiet. And in fact, Gabby's family spoke in the 60 Minutes Australia interview saying how polite and quiet and nice Brian was, especially to Gabby's siblings, how he would draw them pictures, how he would talk to them, how he would read the youngest one bedtime stories before bed. So he showed them his public persona. Again, Gabby was witnessing and seeing in action the private persona and the secret persona. And I think we get to see some of his secret persona coming out in his artwork that he put up on Instagram. He's fighting with his demons. I just feel that the information this woman put out is very unfair. She did not know Gabby. She's only hearing this information via Roberta. And Roberta, whose side is she going to take? Is she going to take Gabby's or is she going to take her son's? And in this case, she's going to take her son's. And you see, Joe Petito said if Gabby had come home without Brian, he would have had a talk, and he definitely would have called her family and told them, we need to go over this because Gabby came home without her fiance. You see, these people are avoiding talking to law enforcement. They're avoiding doing the right thing. It's about self-preservation. It's about self-preservation for them and for their son. To go on a camping trip when your son returns home without his fiance in her van and he used her credit card to get home doesn't make me see him as the nice, sweet guy that this woman wants us to hear about. And I think Roberta put her up to this. And I'm starting to think that this woman, Brittany, is starting to see the light. How she is being ridiculed for sticking up for Brian and his family. Because they have given no answers. They're watching Gabby's family suffer. And that absolutely is cruel. It's cruel and unusual punishment what they're doing to their family. Gabby's mother's wish, Nicole Schmidt, she wants to look Brian's parents in the eye and ask them why. Why did this happen? Just tell me the truth. She mentioned that in her 60 Minutes Australia interview. And she deserves that truth. Brian needs to be put behind bars. There needs to be justice for Gabby. And her foundation is going to do that to help other DV survivors come through it, come to the other side, and be the strong person we all know that they are, and to stop being beaten down by some loser who doesn't believe in their own selves, so they have to put someone else down. I just found it very strange that earlier today, Brittany's Facebook was full of posts about Gabby, that Roberta told her, that she smokes Mary Jane all the time and she doesn't do anything to help and she's got mental disorders. And to use the phrase a laundry list of problems, basically, I think she needs to turn that around on the Dirty Laundrie family. They're the ones with the laundry list of dirty deeds that they have done. They have done nothing to help find their son, to help the Petito family get answers. What did they do? They went on a camping trip. They did some gardening. They cut the grass. They go on with their life as if nothing ever happened. And they don't seem to care that their son is missing. And they don't seem to care that Gabby lost her life by somebody else's hands, that her life was stolen from her at the age of 22. And she wasn't able to go live out her dream that she wanted to because somebody had to suck the life out of her, emotionally and literally. Literally, her life was sucked away from her. And I don't understand how this woman can come forward and say that Brian is an angel. I understand that post was put out before her cause of death, but just thinking about him coming home in her van without his fiance and then going on a camping trip and avoiding the calls from Gabby's family, that is just sick. Shame on you, the Dirty Laundrie family. Shame on you. Guys, I hope you have a beautiful week. Get out, get some fresh air, and remember, self-care always. Till next time, take care, you guys. Bye-bye.